My name is Amy Pinkham. I'm a clinical psychologist, but I've also been trained as a neuroscientist. So I study something called social cognition, which is just how we think about social others, how we process social information, and how we understand social others. Social interaction involves a lot of different steps, right? And it depends on the type of social interaction. Based on which one it is, different processes will be taking place. So if it's someone that you've never met before, I think the first impulse is to size that person up, is to try to gather as much information about them as you can. You might make some assumptions about who they are, what they want, why they're talking to you. And those assumptions are going to be based on things like physical appearance, facial expression, what they say to you initially. And then from there, a process takes place where you learn more, and in most instances, if we find out that one of our initial assumptions was incorrect, what we'll do is fix it. We'll change that as we go along and as we learn more about that person. We have three main areas of social cognition that we designate as being particularly important. The first one is emotion recognition. So that's being able to tell how somebody's feeling. And this can range from your basic, what Paul Ekman would call our universal emotions, things like happiness, sadness, fear, anger, or no emotion at all, kind of a neutral expression. Those are all pretty basic, and pretty much everyone can tell when somebody's happy. They can recognize a happy face and say, that person is happy. And then you can get into more complicated social emotions. These would be things like embarrassment or jealousy or guilt that you can get from somebody's face, but it's much more subtle. The second area it's a really neat concept. It's called theory of mind, and that's being able to understand what somebody else might be thinking. So being able to understand their intentions, understanding that someone can think something that may not be true, right? Because they don't have the same information that you have. And then the last thing we have is attributional style, or attributions, and that's how people explain the events that happen in their lives. So if something bad happens to me, how do I make sense of it, right? We want to explain what's happening to us. We want to know why certain things happened. But within social cognition, we find that these types of attributions affect our behavior. And the attributions that we make about other people can be pretty important because they then impact how we interact with those other people